Hey everybody, this is Grill Guy Jeremy with Backcountry and Beyond, coming at you with another grill tip video. Today we are going to focus on, it's going to be a product overview. We're going to focus on Thermoworks. We did one Thermoworks video previously. We focused on their instant read thermometers. Today we're going to focus on leave-in probes. So if you're not familiar with Thermoworks, they make some of the best probes on the market, period. Highly recommend them. If you like to cook at all, whether you're doing your cooking on the grill, in the kitchen, whatever, you really should have one of these. It's going to make your life a lot easier. So let's get right into it. We've got the Dot, which is a single probe, Smoke, 2-channel probe with wireless receiver, and the Signals, which is a 4-channel probe and also has Wi-Fi, which is pretty awesome. So these are all going to be calibrated to be super accurate right out of the box. They're all going to be water resistant, so you can use them in the rain. And they are all going to come with a 2-year warranty. Also, they will all operate in temps anywhere from 32 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. So you should be able to use these in just about any kind of weather conditions. Let's jump into each individual product. We're going to give you a quick little rundown of how each one works and kind of show you how to use it. This is the Dot right here. This one operates on 2 AAA batteries, and those 2 AAAs are going to get you about 5,000 hours of use, which is pretty impressive. It includes 1 meat probe. You can swap that out for an ambient temp probe or pit temp probe, as I call it, but meat probe is what comes included. You just plug that in the side right here. This device only has 3 buttons on it. It's incredibly easy to use. So on the back you have a backlight button, which also doubles as a power button. So you just hold that backlight button down for a few seconds, the device boots right up. Obviously if you tap that button, that will cycle your backlight on and off. And then to set an alarm for whatever you want the internal temp of your meat to be, you're literally just going to hit these arrows and just dial it to what you want. So just to let you hear the alarm on it, I'm going to go ahead and set it down to about 70. And there's your alarm. So this is 70 decibels on this. It's pretty loud. You're going to be able to hear it from across the yard. And that's pretty much all there is to this. You just plug the probe in, set your alarm, and get on with it. That is the Dot, single probe. To turn that off, same thing, just hold down the backlight button for a few seconds. Bam, you're done. Thermoworks Dot. Next up is the Smoke. This is a 2-channel alarm / probe. Comes with a wireless receiver. So this one actually has a dedicated power button on the back. So you're just going to hold that down for a few seconds. That's going to boot up your device. This one has a backlight on it as well. It's right here on the front. You just tap that to turn it on and off. Also on the back you'll notice that you have a Celsius / Fahrenheit. So you can actually switch this one between Celsius readout and Fahrenheit, which is pretty cool. There is the option to calibrate it. Wouldn't recommend it. These things are going to be calibrated really well right out of the box. There's no reason you should ever have to do that, but you do have that option if you feel like it's necessary. One other thing that's worth noting is, let me go ahead and turn this on. Same thing, you just hold the button down for a second. So there's your wireless receiver. One thing that's worth noting here, this can be used as a standalone unit too. You don't have to use the wireless receiver if you don't want to. You can just use this by itself, and you can even, you'll see there's a little icon there. That means I'm transmitting the wireless signal to the receiver. You can actually turn that off right here. So if you're going to use this standalone and you're not using the receiver, you can turn off that wireless transmission, and that'll help conserve your battery life. This unit runs off of 2 AA batteries. Same thing for the receiver, 2 AA's, and you're going to get roughly about 1,800 hours worth of use on one set of AA's. You also got a little kickstand on the back, so you can set it on a table. It also has magnets on the back, so you can stick this to your hopper box on your grill. Don't stick it on the lid, that might get too hot, but you can stick this to your hopper box. And I forgot to mention, same thing on the dot. It's got the magnets on the back, it's got a kickstand on the back. Anyway, back to the smoke. The smoke comes with one meat probe. Plugs in right here on the side. It also comes with one ambient temperature probe, or as I like to call it, a pit temp probe. You can swap this pit temp probe for another meat probe, so you can use this to monitor the temperature of 2 meats instead. It's very convenient. You don't have to change any settings. You just plug it in and it just works. You also get a little clip for your pit temp probe. So you just thread this through this little clip right here, and then you just stick that in between your grill grates, and that will monitor your pit temperature. This one also comes with a lanyard for your wireless receiver, so you can actually hook this to the lanyard and you can wear that around your neck, so you don't have to worry about misplacing it or having to keep it in your pocket. So you see we have our readout here. It's currently about 75 degrees here in the store. And there it is on the wireless receiver. This thing has a 300-foot range on it, so you can use it all around the house, and it updates every 15 seconds. And if it does get out of range, it's going to let you know. It's going to put up a little code that lets you know that it's not connected, so then you're probably just out of range. But yeah, so this is very easy to operate. You can actually change the volume on the base unit if you want to. This thing has an alarm that goes up to 90 decibels, and the receiver is 75 decibels, so it's pretty loud. You're going to be able to hear it pretty good. We're going to give you an example of that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and mute the base unit and let you hear what the receiver sounds like. I'm also going to show you how you set your alarm. So what you do is, you see you've got your high temp alarm and you've got your low temp alarm. The low temp you're probably only going to want to use if you're monitoring your pit temperature. Your high temp, that's going to be what you want your meat to be at when it's finished. So let's say you're cooking a steak, you want it to be medium rare, you're going to set this to somewhere between 125 to 130. I'm going to set it down to 70 degrees, so it'll go ahead and sound the alarm right now. Just hit set, and that brings you to your high temp, and you just use the arrows to adjust it. Once you've got it where you want it, you just hit set again, and you see I'm now getting an alarm on my receiver. It's pretty loud. You can hear this from a pretty good distance, and it also vibrates, so if it's in your pocket, you're going to feel it going off. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it has backlight, obviously. Tap the button, turn it on and off. I'll go ahead and set this back to a higher temp so the alarm doesn't go off again. Now I'm going to turn the receiver off. I'll let you hear what the alarm sounds like on the base unit. So if you're using this as a standalone unit, this is max volume. This is 90 decibels. Again, hit set. There's your readout right there. It's pretty loud. I'm across the yard pretty easy. You can actually get multiple of these too. Like if you, for some reason, need 2 or 3 of these, maybe you're on like a competition barbecue team and you got a few people that are going to be monitoring this device, you can connect multiple of these. You can order additional ones from Thermoworks, and you just sync them up to this thing. It'll remember the ones that are already programmed in there, and it'll just add in the new ones. It's very intuitive, very easy to do. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. The only other thing I probably didn't mention is this on-off. This actually will turn the alarm on the base unit on or off for each individual channel. So let's say you're just using the receiver and you don't need this alarm on, you can just turn it off. Anyway, that's the smoke. Again, to turn this off, you have your on-off button on the back. You just hold that down for a second and you're powered off. Pretty simple. Last, but certainly not least in the lineup, we have my personal favorite, the Signals. This is a really awesome device right here. Again, it's water resistant just like the rest of them. 2-year warranty, super high quality build construction. I mean, if you drop this thing, it's going to be okay. You can use it in the rain. It's got the magnets on the back so you can stick it to your hopper box. This one doesn't have a kickstand. It's not necessary. The base of it is large enough that it'll just sit flat on its own. You don't have to worry about a kickstand for that one. This one comes included with 3 meat probes, as well as your ambient temp or pit temp probe. Again, just like with the smoke, you can swap this pit temp probe out for another meat probe, so you can actually monitor the temperature of 4 different meats with this one if you want to, which is pretty awesome. And they even go a step further. They give you these little colored rings, which I love. If you've ever cooked with multiple meat probes at one time on the same grill, you probably already know it's easy to forget which one is which. You got one stuck in your Boston butt, you got one stuck in a big old thick cut steak. You might be doing a meatloaf or something, and it's really hard to remember which one's which. You're having to constantly trace back the wires and figure out what's going where. This eliminates that problem. You just take, it has 2 of each color. So let's say I want my Boston butt to be color-coded green. So what I would do is I would take 2 of these little green O-rings and I'd put one on this end of my probe, and you're going to want to slide it all the way over this piece here to the other side. Anyway, you get the point. And then you're going to put the other one on this end, just slide it over this right here and plug it in, so that way you're going to know which one's which. It's pretty awesome. That's just a really good idea. I'm surprised nobody else does that, but that's what you get when you buy from Thermoworks. You get some really awesome engineering that goes into that product, and you know that you're going to be buying a quality product that's going to last you a long time. You're also going to have included with this, of course, a power adapter and a charge cable. This device is rechargeable. There's no need to swap out batteries. It's rechargeable. You're going to get about 16 hours of use on a full charge, and when it's completely dead, it's going to take about 12 hours to charge it back up. And of course, it's got that little clip for your ambient temp probe too, so you can stick that through there and clip it to your grill grates. So let's go ahead and power this one up and show you how it works. I really love this device. I think you guys will too. It has a backlight button on the back. That's going to double as your power button. So just hold that down for a second. It's going to boot right up. And of course, that's your backlight button. Obviously, you can cycle the backlight on and off. This one also goes up to 90 decibels. So even if you're not connected to Wi-Fi, as long as you're out there in the yard somewhere within a decent range, you're going to be able to hear it because it's pretty loud. You can also adjust the volume on this one just like you would with the smoke. So that's pretty convenient. If you find that it's a little bit too loud for you, you can just turn it down. Plug in some probes here. So that's 3 meat probes and a pit temp probe. And you see they all popped up here on the display pretty quickly. Doesn't take any time at all. And just to show you, if I wanted to take another meat probe and plug in instead of monitoring the pit temperature, you can just plug it right in and it pops right up. I don't have to change any settings. All I gotta do is just plug it in and it just works. It's that simple. So as far as controlling this one, what you're gonna do is, just like with the smoke, you hit the set button. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You gotta choose the channel first. So hit your channel button. The channel button is gonna cycle you through channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. So let's say I wanna change my high temperature alarm for channel 1. I'll hit the channel button one time, and then I can hit set, and that's gonna take me, right here is just alarm on, so I can turn that on or off. And then of course, if you hit it again, that's going to take you to your high temperature alarm. So you can adjust that to whatever temp you want. Let's say you're doing a medium rare steak. You're probably going to set that to about 125 or so on and so forth. I don't really need to tell you about that. And then hit it again. That's going to take you to your low temperature alarm. So if you're monitoring pit temperature, you can set a low temp alarm. So if the pit temperature gets too low, or if your flame's dying out, you're going to know it pretty quick, because it's going to beep at you. It's going to send you a notification on your phone, assuming that you have the app downloaded on your phone. And then of course I can go on and over to the next channel and do the same thing. I can set my high alarm, my low alarm, all that jazz. Pretty easy. I really love how simple it is to use these devices. Let's go ahead and let you hear what the alarm sounds like. So turn this one down. There's your alarm on the signals. You'll also see, if you are connected to the app, you're going to get a notification there. My notifications are muted right now, so there's no sound, but you can see channel 1 is red on the app, so obviously that means the alarm's going off, it's where it needs to be, the meat is done, whatever, so on and so forth. Go ahead and turn that off. And then of course, one of the things that really makes the signals so awesome is the fact that it is Wi-Fi. So once you get this connected to your Wi-Fi via the Thermoworks barbecue app, as long as this base unit is within range of your Wi-Fi signal at home, you're going to be able to monitor this thing from anywhere, as long as you've got cell phone service. So if you got to run to the grocery store, you forgot something, that's fine. You can just pull up the app and you can still be monitoring your cook from anywhere. And you can still get your notifications if you have a low temp or high temp alarm that goes off. You can even get a graph of your cook, and it will save those graphs to the cloud. So I can click saved graphs here, and I can go back and look at graphs for previous cooks. It's very, very intuitive, very easy to use. I really, really love this device. I love this app. It's pretty awesome. And you can even go one step further, and you can actually name each channel. So I can click on this channel. I can see what my alarms are set at. I can actually change those set points for my alarms if I want to. So let's say I'm doing a Boston butt. I want to do some pulled pork. I'm going to set my alarm probably about 198, and that's where I'm going to start testing it for probe tenderness. Or if I'm monitoring pit temp and I don't want it to drop below a certain temperature, I can go ahead and set that. Really, really easy to do, nothing to it. You can also, where is it at? I gotta remember where it's at, hold on. How you do this? You can change the name of each one. I can't remember how to do it. There it is right here. So you got your little settings cog at the top. So from the main menu, you've got all 4 channels that you can monitor from the main screen. You can click on each individual channel. You can click your settings cog right here, and you can actually name each channel. So you can click right there, and let's say on probe number 1, I've got a Boston butt. So I can just to keep it simple, we'll name that one pork. So channel 1 is going to be named pork. Oh, I'm getting a probe alarm. Forgot I set it to a low temp of 180, and obviously it is under 180 degrees in here. So the signals is letting me know. So you know that the low temp alarm works. But anyway, you can name it. So I can name that channel pork, and that's going to help me remember what's, you know, plugged up to each channel. Not only that, but when you name that channel, it's actually going to reflect that on the device itself. It'll show the first 4 letters of whatever you name it. So for pork, obviously it says pork. I can say beef here, I can say chicken here, and it'll just say CHIC, but that's going to be enough to tell me what it is, you know, kind of common sense there. But yeah, it's just really cool. You can monitor it from anywhere. You can name each channel. You can color code each channel. They've really gone above and beyond to make this whole process super easy, and just to help you make sure that you get a perfect cook on whatever type of food it is you're cooking. It doesn't have to be meat, but you can make sure that everything is cooked perfectly every single time. And again, to turn this one off, you just hold down the backlight button for a few seconds and it'll cut right off. There you go, nothing to it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Thermoworks Leave-In Probes. Again, I highly recommend these products. I've been using them for a long time, much longer than I've been selling them. I stand behind Thermoworks. I honestly believe that they are the best out there. And I think you guys will too. Once you get these in your hands and you start using them, I mean, you're gonna be hooked. You're not gonna want to use anything else. Thermoworks Leave-In Probes, they're just awesome. So that's pretty much it for today's video. If you have any questions, or if there's something that I may have forgotten to mention, please let me know in the comments. I know I had a lot of information to cover here today, and I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible. So I may have forgotten something. If so, that's fine. Just let me know. Leave me a comment. I'd be glad to answer all your questions. I'm very responsive to everybody's comments, YouTube and Facebook both. I'm monitoring those comments all the time. And speaking of which, if you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure and look us up on Facebook. If you're watching this video on Facebook, make sure and look us up on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. Check out our website, backcountryandbeyond.com. We recently launched our online store, so we do have a lot of products available online. Thermoworks, you can only buy in store. Thermoworks does not allow other dealers to sell online. So this is a in-store only, and I highly recommend you come to the store and check them out. I've always got my Thermopen here with me. I can show you how it works. I usually have my signals here with me so I can show you how it works, and we always have a dot here at the store that we use so I can show you how that works too. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So we really appreciate you watching, and we'll hope you come back for the next episode, and we'll see you later.